So we have a client who is in the dairy industry, makes a lot of cheese in southeast Queensland, and they had an opportunity to export their cheese to Southeast Asia. They already had a quality management system and a food safety system in place, but it needed to be brought up to the next level to ensure that they could export. So we were brought in to review their existing system, see what needed to happen, and essentially make a painless transition from what they were doing to meet the requirements of export so that the people could just get on and do their jobs and not have to worry about it. One of the things, interestingly, while I was there talking to them, obviously I had a factory tour to see what they did, and they were having a problem with one of their products getting mould on it. And they said, you know, could you have a look at that while you're here? And what they'd found was they were making product in one room, it was being piped over to another room to be filled, and the product was increasing in temperature. And they said, we're pretty sure that's the reason why we're getting mould on the product. After a couple of discussions with them, I worked out it wasn't. The reason the temperature wasn't actually anything to do with it. They had some cracked lines that were allowing air in, and they had replaced those lines the day before I got there. I'd said to them, just let me go for another couple of weeks and see if there's any other mould turns up. And what they had actually worked out was they were going to spend $7,500 to put in new piping, insulated piping, to keep the temperature better under control, but that wasn't actually the problem. So they left it for 3 weeks, no mould, and their product hasn't had mould on it since. Picking up little things when you're walking around looking at different processes, different industries. We were there to do one particular job, but we found something else, a way to help them to prove that we knew what we were doing. No, it's not typical of a QA consultant. Most people will go in specifically focused on the job that they're doing. I want to take the approach that if we can add value in any other area, then we will. It's a two-way street. I need to get as much information from them to be able to do my job properly. So if I can prove to them and find some little wins when we first start, then that shows them that, number one, I know what I'm doing, but number two, I'm actually committed to them continuing. It's one of the things that I pride myself on. We've been going for 20 years. We have 2 clients that we've looked after for 16 and 17 years, and 2 other clients we've looked after for 15 years. And I like that long-term relationship with clients so that we can help them to grow and see how their business has changed and help them to cope with the changes, like maybe a global viral pandemic or something like that. What we find with quite a few clients as we go through this is systems keep building and building because different customers want different things, different auditors want different things, and they don't actually ever have time to stop and streamline. So we found that they were checking the scales 3 times a day, which is not a requirement. We looked over all of the results for the past 6 months. The scales were never out of calibration, so we recommended that they come back to once a week. So there were those little efficiencies that we picked up. It meant by having us there to upgrade their system and to streamline it, meant their people could continue to do their jobs, and we took that pressure off them to upgrade the system to address the export requirements. The other thing that we offered was, with a background in food science, we could also help them with some product development. We could also help them with little issues like mould or product contamination. So things that we could see out there, we could help them to fix. We also reviewed their last external audit report and found that there were a few issues that didn't really need to be addressed, that the auditor may have been a bit over the top. So we just brought a reality back to that. So we saved them time and money in jobs that they really didn't have to do because the food safety of their products wasn't being affected. So essentially we were a resource that meant their people could get on with doing their jobs and they weren't taken away from the jobs that they're employed to do. So look, you've got the difference now with with the owners and the senior managers. If there are any hairy questions or things a bit off the cuff, they do come straight to us to ask for advice and guidance, which means they don't have to spend time researching something they don't understand. And it also means that we have a good enough relationship with them that they know that we've done the right thing by them, so that they know they're going to get the right answer when they come to us and to help them. We have a very straight up and down relationship with the client. We're involved in their senior management meetings, and we can help to guide them, especially when it comes to a legislation or an export requirement. So we're available to them whenever they need them. So they're a bit more relaxed about changing things, and they certainly don't go and make moves like spend $7,500 on something that doesn't need to be done.